Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, he is a Baylor football legend. Now he is making big plays off the field in the business world. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you notice a different color scheme for the Jeff Crilley Show, it's because we've got a Baylor legend in the house, Michael Big Mike Johnson from Big Mike Insurance. Thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me back.
Well, it's been probably 5 years since you were in studio.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
How about that one?
Yeah. Well,
Shame
we've had COVID. We got a lot to talk about. I want to start with your football career because you didn't intend to go to Baylor initially.
No. I didn't know where I was going to go, but I didn't have that as my number one option. I guess when we first started, it was more or less trying to figure out your top 5, and I think my 5 was I was really Syracuse, and then I had Texas. I had Texas A&M, and I had Michigan, and then of course the 5th one was kind of up in the air, and my head coach kind of was like, "Hey, Mike, Baylor's a good school. You should check that out." Bubba Fife, I respect him tremendously. He's a great man. Taught me a lot. But then, of course, he was like, Mike, give him a chance. And I did, and they recruited me different. So I loved it. Kind of got me on that path.
And you started. You started from the very beginning?
Yeah. Well, as far as coming in, yes. When I got there, it was really about just I wanted an opportunity to try to play, try to start. They said, yes, you will have an opportunity. So I think that was critical as far as my decision is concerned. And then I did. Got there and didn't know what I was doing, didn't have a clue. I remember all I know is that I'm gonna give him all, and my athleticism. I was a very athletic and strong for coming into high. Well, I thought I was strong until you go against some, guys that's been there 3-4 years. They're super strong. So let's be clear. But I was strong for my, being an 18-year-old, and so they gave me a chance, and I took advantage.
All right, I want to show some pictures of you during your playing days. Now, this comes from, I think, an alumni website, and what was let's go ahead and put that on the screen. Okay, what are we looking at right here? Was this freshman year, or what year?
No, that was probably right. That was probably my junior year. The picture is my freshman year, sophomore year, and then, of course, that was from the B Association, which I was actually I was president of the B Association in 2020, which I was the co-ed president.
You played the same position as the blind side.
Yes, I did. Well, my first 2 years I played guard, and then my junior and senior year I played left tackle. So got a chance to, participate against some of the best athletes out there.
What are some lessons that you learned during your playing days?
Wow. I would say resilience, simply because, you're going to, in life and in things, even today, there's some ups, there's some downs, valleys, lows, and injuries of some sort, something that slows you down or something that you did not necessarily have in that equation or that blueprint when you first thought of how I'm going to approach the year business or even as an athlete. So resilience is a big thing, and fighting. I think it's a fight, it's a will. I think if you can get the right athlete, I think they can really be something special in this world.
Sure.
If you can find the right one with the right mindset.
And teamwork. I mean, everyone's got to be doing their job for the play to work out. Punctuality. We were talking before the show that a 6 a.m. workout doesn't mean you get to sleep until 7:30. No. You wouldn't be on the team, would you?
You have to be ready to go at 6, not 5:59.
That's
you
right.
know, so.
And you've been very active with the alumni. We've got some pictures, and I want you to tell us what we're looking at here.
I received the Legends Award at Baylor, which was excellent. Loved it. Where they bring me on the field, acknowledge kind of my accolades and things that I've accomplished throughout the year. So that was beautiful. Had a great time. Brought my family out, and we had a really, really good time. So I enjoyed that. So
Now, did your boys? They weren't around when you were playing football.
No.
So do they fully appreciate that? You were a star.
Yeah, now that they're in high school, I have a junior and a freshman. There was actually a game on the Longhorn Network, and they highlighted my name, and they was like, I said, I told you I was good, and they're like, whatever,
Well, sometimes they got to be reminded of that.
They don't believe me, so, but that's okay. That was my time. This is their time, and I just tell them, hey, listen, it's to the point where, do your thing.
Sure.
Get out there and do your thing.
Now, you did mortgages for a while.
I did when I got out. When I was done with, when I graduated, ended up getting into, that was countrywide then. But I learned a lot, truth be told. I learned a tremendous amount during that phase. Went from countrywide to Wells Fargo, and then stayed Wells Fargo for 6 years. So it was 10 total, and actually ran the Turtle Creek office for Wells Fargo, and I opened up the countrywide office in Frisco. So I was at a young age, so I was really happy about that. They gave me an opportunity to be a leader in that at a young age, so I learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes, but kept on moving. And then, of course, State Farm, which is where I'm at now with my agency, had approached me about opening my own agency, and I took advantage of that, tried to at least.
That's awesome. Well, we got some pictures from your State Farm career. What are we looking at here?
Well, that one there is from back when I was at an event. I did a lot of events. When I first started, I was like, hey, let me be out in the community. The whole Big Mike insurance thing, I've always been kind of touchy. I like to kiss babies and shake hands and all that good stuff. So we used to do a ton of stuff out in the community, which is excellent. I want to get back to it, but then the business got so big.
No,
those are my boys back. Wow. They're young. They're up there. My youngest, the one that's the shortest, he's almost taller than me now.
My daddy is Big Mike. Do they still wear those shirts?
No. They just take the money now. They don't.
And your offices are in McKinney.
McKinney. I have an office in McKinney that I've been there for the last 11 years, and but I am going to look into open up a second agency, which is the new mission now. The second agency, third agency. We can duplicate what we've done already.
And I want to give a shout out to Junior Wakefield, a good friend. That's how you and I met, working out in the park out in Plano. And my first memory of you is not just your size, big guy, but big smile, gregarious. Where does that come from? Is that mom or dad, or where do you get your outgoing personality?
Well, my mom is outgoing, very outgoing. My dad, I'm like spitting image of him, cheeks and all, and so combination. But my mom is definitely outgoing. My dad's a smiler, when he's not mean, but overall he's good. So I got that from them, and I like the smile. It's welcoming. It makes people let their defense down a little bit. So.
But are you naturally an introvert or an extrovert?
Extrovert all day long.
Okay.
Not that it's funny, as I've gotten older, I do it, I get out and about, and I talk, of course, but then there's times I just want to relax.
And recharge.
And recharge, So I'm kind of shifting some.
That's
I thought that is interesting. I thought I was shifting some, but by nature, I am an extrovert.
I want to brag on your team. How long you've had your offices now?
Yes, 11 years.
11
years we've been open. My team's done magnificent. We actually made Chairman Circle, which is the top 4 or 5% of State Farm agents. It's 20,000 agents
wow, congratulations.
In America. Thank you. So they've done an outstanding job, and we've done that the last 3 years in a row. So next year we're trying to get to the top 500, which is something else. But I'll take that. But they're doing well, and I really actually had some promotions take place, which is what should take place.
Sure.
And I had a couple of my team members go on and get promoted and became agents themselves. So now I'm kind of building back up the culture.
How would you describe your leadership style?
Oh, wow. Kind of coachable. I would say I'm more of a coach than anything. Mentor, coach. I don't consider myself a boss. And I think it's important because I want to relate. And even like I tell my team, I met with every one of them individually last week. And that whole meeting was about them. What do you want to accomplish in 23?
Yes.
It had nothing to do with Michael Johnson State Farm. It's what do you want to do? And they shared what they want to do. And if I can figure out what they want or what they're trying to do, then naturally it helps.
And the best coach is able to get the most out of their players, right? Out of their team. And so when you think about some of the coaches that you've had in your life, is your leadership style anything like theirs?
Yeah, more or less, encouraging. Encouraging. I'm not going to beat you up because you make a mistake. I'm like, hey, listen, go fail again. That's part of it. Sometimes I'll ask them, what'd you fail at today? And they're like, huh? I'm like, what did you fail at? What'd you fail at? Well, I didn't do this. I'm like, good. Well, go fail again.
Wow.
Because that's the best way for us to learn and to get better.
So when you going back to your playing days, when you failed, when you messed up, what did the coach say to you?
Depending on which coach. Some would be like, Mike, you're better than that. My expectations is higher. You can do it. If you didn't, I wouldn't have you out there. You and I both know that. So it's more encouraging, kind of say, hey, you made a mistake. It happens. Go fix it, learn, and let's go. You had some of the other ones that they don't know how to coach, so they really didn't give much feedback. But I was always a self-starter anyway, kind of an evaluation of myself. So whenever there was an opportunity for me I want to show up for people. I want to show up. That's what I do. I want to take care of people. I want to help people get better. So so the only way to do that is make myself better. Yeah. So that's kind of my mentality when it comes to that. Yeah.
In the little time we have left, give some encouragement to the people watching who, they admire your success in the business world and they're thinking about going out on their own. I know that's not for everybody. I went out on my own after a nice TV career. You went out on your own. It's not for everybody. How do you know if you're set up to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I think if you don't try, you'll never know, number one. I think a lot of it is mindset, and you won't, if you're saying, I want to become a small business owner in something very specific, then I would say, number one, do your research on that. Kind of gather information. The more you know, the more confident you'll be. And that might reading books. You might take on a mentor, that's what they do. And they might they can always help you eliminate all the mistakes they made. You're going to make some, but they'll help you eliminate it so you become more efficient. And I just say dive into it. So if somebody really wanted to become a State Farm agent, and let's say they're coming and they're making good money, and they said, hey, I want to own my own business and make more money, then I would tell them, hey, give me 12 to 18 months, and I guarantee we will change the path of your last name. It's that simple. If you give me 12 to 18 months and have a game plan so they know exactly what they're going to do. So it's all laid out, and then that way I can kind of teach them some things. They obviously bringing a skill set to the table already. I just want to enhance that and then make that extremely relevant to what I do and how they can get to the next level. So that would be the best way to do it. If not, get in the business, find a mentor, and then have a game plan. I'm not talking 3-4 years. I tell my team, listen, I only want you to work for me for 5 years. If you pass 5 years, then I didn't do my job.
Wow. That's a great way to end this show. We're going to end with your website, which is bigmikeinsurance.com. Michael Johnson, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it, brother.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.